Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Will Sacco. I'm Director of Admissions here at Wooster School. We've assembled an excellent senior panel lineup for you this evening. Some of Worcester's finest, best, brightest, all walks of life. So we're really excited to welcome you to them and then back to you. Yeah, without further ado, I want to turn it over to our moderator, Mr. Will Thaler.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. My name's Will. I'm a senior here at Wooster, and I have the great pleasure of moderating this panel tonight. So before we get started, I just want to give everyone who's on the panel a chance to introduce themselves. So we'll go around one by one. We'll state our name, what town we're from, our title in our jobs program, how long we've been at Wooster, and some areas of interests that we enjoy. So I'll start. Again, I'm Will. I'm from Ridgefield, Connecticut, so about 15 minutes away from Worcester's campus. This is my 9th year at Worcester, and I'm very interested in theater and music. And I'm going to hand it off to Jonah.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Jonah Bates. This is my 3rd year at Worcester, and I'm from Wilton, which is a little farther away. And I'm the arts and music prefect for jobs. And some of the areas that I'm interested in is like music, theater, and science. Olivia, you can go next.
I'm Olivia. I live in Ridgefield, Connecticut. I'm the Equity and Inclusion Prefect, and I've been here since freshman year. I'm interested in philosophy and social justice a lot. Simone, do you want to go?
Hi, everybody. I'm Simone Pradati. I'm from Ridgefield, Connecticut as well, and this is my 11th year at Worcester School. And some places of interest for me are in the science department, so biology or chemistry, and social justice as well. And I'll pass this on to Kara.
Hi, my name's Kara Siaka. I'm also part of like the social justice part of things, and I've been here around 7 years, and I'm really interested in biology and chemistry and stuff like that.
And we're having a slight difficulty with one of our students' screens. So Jack, come on down.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jack. I've been here since preschool in Worcester. I know everything there is to know. My sisters went here. My family worked here. I bet a lot of people come to me and ask them questions if I'm outside of school. My question was, what are the opportunities?
Well, Will's going to direct you your way in a second.
Sorry, guys.
You're all good, Jack. So a big part of the experience here at Worcester comes at the very start, and that's the transition. It can be really tough for some people going to a new school. So Jonah, you're someone who joined us pretty late in the game. You joined us in 10th grade at a time where all of our high school experiences were already well on their way. During your transition to Worcester, what was the experience like for you, and how are you accepted into the community here?
Yeah, so I came in sophomore year, which was pretty recent. And it was obviously scary at first. I feel like transferring to a new school is going to be scary no matter what. But I think Worcester was it's very good at making sure that people, no matter what age or grade, are able to integrate themselves well into the community. The best thing for me was that, like, obviously we're very small, and so that just made it a little less scary since there were, less people. But on like the first couple of days, there's not too many classes and it's more like community time. And so even though I didn't know anybody at first, I had a lot of chances to just go up to people and be like, hey, I'm Jonah. Can I sit here? Can I talk to you, like during lunch and on those first couple of days? And those were kind of my main opportunities to become integrated into the community. Yeah.
Thank you, Jonah. And like he said, we have a pretty small community here. And the nice thing about that is how tight-knit we are. Teachers are really able to understand their students as individuals and guide them in their own unique ways in their learning. So Kara, I wanted to ask you, what's a relationship with a teacher that has shaped your experience here?
Of course. So I'm in the Bridge program. So the Bridge program is for kids who don't take a language. And one of my Bridge teachers during freshman year was Miss Marone, Miss Marone, yeah, and she was very supportive throughout the entire school year. And honestly, it felt like I had a genuine connection with her, which we did. Um, I knew her on a personal level, and I felt like I could go to her even outside of school help. I felt like I could just talk to her as if she was one of my peers, like a friend kind of thing. And I find those types of relationships with teachers really, um, really powerful and really important when it comes to schools like this.
Thanks, Kara. Simone, what about you? Could you tell me about a relationship with a teacher that you think you'll remember even after you've graduated, and why?
Yeah, of course. So, one teacher that really comes to my mind is Miss Higgins, who was my ninth grade English teacher, humanities. And when I was young and I was like kind of nervous in school, it was like ninth grade. She kind of saw like me for who I was and what I was interested in, which was art at the time. So she saw my art and she saw my capabilities, and she asked me to start making her Christmas cards. So every year since then, I've been making her Christmas card, and she sends one out to me and usually the staff. And I think this will continue until after college too. So that's definitely one.
Thanks, Simone. Now, we're all seniors here, so as upperclassmen, we've all gotten the opportunity to partake in our Deep Learning Initiative classes. And our DLI classes are a unique experience for upperclassmen at Worcester to delve deeper into their academics and strengthen their agency in their learning. So Jonah, you've delved very deep into these courses. So could you talk a bit about a DLI course that has challenged you or helped you grow as a learner?
So I've taken a couple of DLI courses, like DLI physics and chemistry and calculus, but the one that stands out the most to me in terms of like challenging was DLI Madness, Deviance, and the Outsiders in Literature, which is a very long title, but it was an English class, and English is not my biggest proficiency, so having this kind of narrow, streamlined class type, like that's just how most DLI classes operate, it was more effective for me. It kind of played to my strengths while in a setting that wasn't something that was necessarily a strength. And it also kind of forced me to become better at seeing what resources I had. So in like an English class, when we have writing prompts for different papers, I had to be like, have to talk to my peers, maybe have to talk to the teacher to get their opinions on what I'm writing. It was just a very good opportunity to help strengthen my overall skills.
Thanks, Jonah. Olivia, tell us about a time in a DLI course where you were able to shape your own learning and how that helped you in your academic journey.
Okay, so I really like English. That's probably what I'm going to focus on. And I really like philosophy, and I'm taking philosophy this year. So something I've really enjoyed is in my class, I've been able to write essays that weren't assigned and just like come up with things that I was interested in and just write about it. And then also something I really like about how Worcester does classes is that if you have a grade you're not happy with, you can redo assignments, you can like edit the assignments, get your grade up.
Thanks, Olivia. And I myself have a DLI course that has been really memorable to me. Last year, I took our DLI music theory class, which is taught by the great Mr. Johnston, who has a really unique way of teaching. He does things almost Socratically. So basically, the students bring in what they want to learn each day in class. And so he would start every class period by asking us, what do you want to talk about today? And all it takes is one little thing. I remember one time I went in and I said, I don't know what a secondary dominant is. And we spent the entire class period, he spent the whole class period teaching us about secondary dominance in music right on the spot. And so it was a great way for me and the other people in the class to really have full control over what topics we wanted to learn about in music and how to apply that to our own composition and playing. So I want to turn our attention to outside of academics now, because there are endless opportunities to get involved in extracurricular activities here. Whether it's arts, sports, or clubs, every student here is encouraged to take advantage of these opportunities and become a well-rounded individual. So Jack, could you tell me about an activity or two that you found a calling in that has helped shape who you are today?
Yeah. So as you can probably tell, I just came from basketball practice. I had to run all the way up the hill. But I'm a three-sport athlete here, and that's one of the things I kind of want to focus on is that athletics are not only competitive and they keep a spirit of, good sportsmanship and different traits that you gain through these athletics that, you gain friendships and you gain, skills that you can learn throughout life. Like, and it's just a great experience that being on a team that, is winning and keeps that caliber of winning. But at the same time, you can have such an experience with, people around you and meet friends and, to have someone that you could say hi to all around. Like this year we won the New England Soccer Championship, which was a pretty big deal, second in school history. And I remember just being so proud of all my friends, and it really tightly bonded me to a couple guys that, I don't usually, say hi to and around school. And now I've got a couple new friends, which I'm really proud of. And the next thing I want to talk about is clubs. Clubs is, a great, piece to our school. We have so many opportunities here. I'm actually the student activities prefect, which I handle all the clubs. And I, I just see all these kids reaching out with their different likes and everything that they, take an interest in. And I just find it so fascinating that they can, reach out to their friends now, and they have people to talk to and listen to, and they really get to grow and experience these new things through those, platforms. I think it's really nice.
Thanks, Jack. Um, and for me, it's something that an opportunity that's been really important to me here is in the past year or so, 6 months maybe, I've gotten the amazing opportunity to be Worcester's chapel prefect. And so what that entails is each week we have non-denominational chapel services in our amazing chapel. And I get to work alongside our school chaplain, Mrs. Blanford, and lead those. And so it's, the two of us presenting to the whole school. And we get to facilitate discussions, bring in outside presenters within the school community. And it's an awesome way that I've gotten to be a part of sort of amplifying the voices of our community and practice my public speaking at the same time. So it's great. Now, all of us here have in one way or another achieved a level of, I guess you could say, excellence in our crafts. So achieving your personal best is, again, something we've all done in our own way across our time at Wooster. So this is going to be a question for all six of us. So can each of us comment on a particular area where you feel you've really excelled? So that's an area where you feel you've been challenged and pushed to the max and really achieved excellence. This could be anywhere: athletics, academics, performance, social, the social environment here. But the point is that it's personal and meaningful to you. So does anyone want to start us off?
I can start us off. So one area that I think I've grown to excel in my own way at is related to athletics, because I'm not a very athletic person normally. I'm not like, I don't play that many sports, but the couple of sports I do play, which is mainly tennis, they're very important to me. And it's being on like the teams at Worcester have really the team specifically, kind of what Jack was saying, is it's a good group of people. And particularly this year, I did cross country for the first time, and the coach, Miss Wilkinson, is just amazing, and she helps push you to be your personal best, and everybody kind of works together, even though it was an individual sport. And I feel like I achieved my personal best. I was able to push beyond like kind of the limits I thought I would have had for myself, and my times were getting better each race, and I ended up winning a medal by the end of the season, even though it was my first season. So I feel like that was something that I was challenged and pushed past to excel in.
I can go next if you want. So especially over like I think high school years, self-advocacy for myself personally is something that I've really grown in. Usually I never spoke up in class. I was too afraid to raise my hand. I was too afraid to even talk to anyone. But with the amount of support I've gotten from teachers and overall peers, I feel like I've gained a lot of confidence and gained a lot of just self-advocacy skills. And now I'm scheduling meetings with my teachers every single week. I'm staying after class, chatting with something that if I didn't understand a subject or if I didn't understand a certain thing in the reading, I'll stay after class and I'll talk with them and we could talk for like 15 minutes, maybe even 20. It's like I started speaking up now and it's something that's really helped and I think it's going to really continue helping, especially in college and stuff like that. um yeah.
Thanks, Kara. Olivia, you want to take it next?
Sure. So I think I've always been passionate about social justice, and at Worcester we have a unique clubs period. So I think that has been super helpful for me to get a lot of leadership positions with social justice and really get involved. For one of our clubs, we even lobbied at the state capitol, which was really cool. So yeah, I think that would be something I excelled in.
So for me, when I started at Wooster in 4th grade, I decided to try out theater for the very first time. And I have never looked back since. It's been awesome. It's been like the center of my experience here. And throughout my time in various acting classes throughout middle school, with the help of our amazing theater director and or assistant director, depending on the show, Andy Barrett, I've been able to really, figure out what it's like to be on stage and what kind of actor I want to be and how to just go about the whole ordeal of entertaining and being up in front of people. And it's really helped me figure out what kind of person I want to be and what kind of person I want to be in this community as well. And I've gotten to the point where I've played lead roles in shows. I've delved into technical theater. I delved into student directing. Just a couple months ago in our fall play, All in the Timing, I was a student director, an actor, and a techie all in the same show. I was designing lights. I was directing 2 of the 6 one-acts in that show, and then acting in another one of the one-acts. So it was awesome, and it's just been an amazing experience. And it's definitely something I'm going to miss, but something that I'm always going to be grateful for. Simone, you want to answer next?
Yes. So, for me personally, I think I've just grown as a human being because going to the school for basically my whole life, I've been able to go on this journey and explore things that might interest me. Like Will said, is theater. I used to be a theater kid too. I did a little bit of, just everything, art, crafts, everything. So now I'm really interested in EJC and equity and justice. So the opportunities I've been presented at Worcester have led me to, go on different trips, go to the Capitol, like Olivia said, and all of that. So that's what I've grown in. Jack?
Yeah, I think for me, it's definitely just all around academics. I've always, been a kid that, loved sports, loved playing outside with my friends. And I think that Worcester kind of pushed me to seek more in myself and trying to, get uncomfortable and out of my comfort zone. And I think that's something I'm proud of that I, grew, a callous to, not really being the most academic kid to, wanting more out of class, wanting to stay after with my teachers and kind of push myself to get uncomfortable in a situation that I'm not. So yeah.
Thank you guys so much. So as seniors, we've all been through the college process at this point, or are still currently going through it. So we spent a lot of time this year and last year preparing our applications and figuring out, what's the right place for us. So Kara, I wanted to ask you, in what ways have you been able to receive the guidance that you need in the college process?
So I applied to a couple schools, and so far, actually, I've been accepted to all of them. Um, and I think like beginning of junior year, I was especially worried about college, and I think a lot of teachers have been able to help me like relieve that stress when it comes to looking over college essays or looking over emails to colleges. Um, Throughout like the whole stress in the like later on in junior year, a lot of teachers were able to just kind of give me that reassurance that I was definitely going to get into a college and that I had a really good chance of getting into the colleges that I wanted to get into because of just the amount of support has been like really nice. And I think that when it came down to my college essay, I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to write it. I was really stressed out about it. I was worried that it wasn't going to be good enough. And I think that when I was writing it, I needed someone to talk to and I needed to talk it out because I was so unmotivated. But when I went to some of my teachers and for my when I went to some of my teachers, they kind of just sat me down. We had a conversation about it, what I wanted my topic to be, and overall, they really helped with just coming up with ideas and helping me get through the whole college process and everything. It was very helpful.
Thanks, Kara. And as crazy as it is to believe, we're all approaching the end of our Wooster journeys. So if you guys are fine with this, let's go down the line and just share with the people watching either our top choices that we're applying to right now, or some of us already know where we're going. So if you know where you're going, share where you're going and what you're interested in majoring in. So I can start us off. I am going to be headed to Emory University next year, and I'm going to be double majoring in music and psychology. Jack?
A few applications have been sent out. I really like Hobart William Smith and Providence College, and I'm not really sure what I want to get into yet. But that's fine, I think.
Jonah?
So I got accepted into Tufts University early decision, which was very exciting. So that's where I'm going to be going next year. And in terms of major, I don't totally know what I want to do. I'm planning on going in undecided, but I'm interested in STEM. So something loosely related to that, like biology or chemistry, is probably where I'll end up.
Olivia?
I applied to a lot of schools, so I'm still waiting to hear back from a lot. I think some of the top choices are like USC and Scripps College in California.
Kara?
I applied to Ursinus and I sent in my deposit already. And I'm looking into majoring in environmental science or studies. I'm not sure yet. One of those two.
Simone?
I applied to a couple different schools, Northeastern University, New York University, George Washington University. So those are my top choices. And I did a little bit of a different majoring thing. So I didn't major the same to all these schools. So it ranges between Africana studies, biology, and political science. So that's what I'm doing.
And Simone, could you tell me how you think Wooster has prepared you for college and also possibly beyond college in your adult life?
Yeah, so I feel like Worcester's prepared me in the sense that it is like a collegiate school. So they're kind of preparing us with the layout of the campus. So everywhere that I go on campus, it's kind of like you're going uphill, you're going downhill, you're going across the campus. So that's like in terms of the structure, that's kind of what it's going to look like, just smaller scale. And then in terms of classes and academics, like Jonah was talking about with DLI classes, you get the option to take these classes, which are harder. And in some of these classes, like Mr. Panon, who should be somewhere in this meeting, you get a more college-like feel. So you might not be meeting for class every single day. You might be meeting about something like, I don't know, whatever you're learning about. But yeah, it really depends. So just the feel of the classes, I guess.
Thanks, Simone. I got one more question. It's another one for everyone. So when you think of your time here at Wooster, can you point to a particularly memorable moment that you'll always cherish? So again, anything that you've done here, any one single moment. I know it's hard to distill it down to like your favorite memory here. I can start so you guys can have some time to think about something. I actually have two. They're both from theater. So the first one comes from when we did the winter musical my sophomore year, which was The Addams Family. I remember it was a Saturday night show, and I had a prop. It was a glass with grape juice in it that was wine. And I had said a line really aggressively, and I had taken the glass and, like, you know, thrown it up, and the grape juice came right out of the top of the glass and then like splattered right on the floor in front of me. And it took the other actors on stage and I to realize what had happened. And then when we did and we looked down at the grape juice on the floor, we all just broke. And we were all like laughing on stage, but like trying to get through our lines. At one point, one of them couldn't even finish her line because for some reason we just thought it was so funny that I'd spilled this grape juice. And I had like improv'd a line when I exited that scene just a moment later, where I said, let's get out of here before we scare off our audience. And everyone just started laughing. And it felt like a great moment where moments like those in theater, it feels like you're there with the audience. And it was just one of those moments where I felt like this whole community was together, even though it wasn't the entire Wooster community watching the show all at once. It kind of felt like that. And then again, last year in 11th grade, during our winter musical Godspell, at the end of Act 1, during a musical number, we would go into the audience and take people and bring them up on stage to dance with us. And it was during our like student and faculty show. And I remember seeing Miss Jones, my college counselor, and a couple of seniors dancing in the audience, and some members of tech had come down on stage and started dancing. And there were so many people on stage, and you know, that was a show that I had wanted to do for so long, and I felt it was this moment where I felt like I had sort of been a part of bringing something that I love so much, this show Godspell, into our community, and getting such a great reception, and having it be so accepted and beloved by our community. And that was just an amazing moment. So does anyone have something they want to share yet?
I can go. Sorry. I have two as well, but so I'll try to make them quick because the first one is also from Godspell. And during the time of the show, it was my junior year, which is a very stressful year. And so kind of during the process of the show, I felt like I was under a lot of pressure, and there were some days where I just like didn't want to be there. I kind of felt cruddy. And like the best thing that I had to rely on were like all the people in the show, all the friends I had made, and they were all really cool people, but a lot of them were seniors. And so on the last night of the show, I had gotten like a pep talk from one of my other friends, and she mentioned the fact, like, you know, this is our last night. This is the last time, kind of the last thing we have with a lot of these people. And that kind of stuck with me because I was thinking about like, yeah, this is, you know, I kind of always was focusing on how stressed I was while I was here, but in reality, the main thing I had was all these people. So towards the very end of the show, I had a song that I had to sing, and I just got, it was a very emotional song, and all of that mixed together, I just kind of broke down crying on stage, which was a little embarrassing. And then afterward, I just kind of broke out sobbing, and like, I'm not a big crier, so it was very embarrassing, but like it was something that had to happen. But then my other really good memory was a select group of people, also in junior year, a select group of people was asked to help work on this presentation for the Innocence Project, which is like an outside group that talks about wrongful conviction. And so we were inviting them and kind of doing this presentation to the whole school about like their goals and like the issues of wrongful conviction. And I was asked to present about like numbers and statistics about wrongful conviction as an issue. And it was really scary because I was talking to like the whole school. But it was just like, first off, it was really like, I was impressed with myself that I was able to do it. And I think I did it very well, but it was also just really nice knowing like being there, presenting, and seeing like everybody who was, I would say pretty much everybody was attentive, like looking out into an audience full of high schoolers. You would assume most people are like lounging about and kind of not caring, but I would say it was a very comfortable experience, despite the fact how uncomfortable of a situation it was. And that's just something that I really like to remember. It's a good motivator.
I can go. So this was last year with one of my bridge teachers, and I had just finished writing my first draft for my college essay, and I was really nervous to show it to anyone really. But I decided to show it to her first, and I can remember like waiting, like standing right next to her, waiting for her to finish and give me like any feedback or tell me like what I need to fix or something like that. But when she did finish, um she kind of started crying a little, only because I feel like the way I wrote it and how I've grown and how she's seen me grow over the course of my high school years was kind of really impactful to her, and that made me start to cry because I kind of got like, I don't know, I got like really, it felt really touching, kind of like such a sensitive moment. I felt really vulnerable, and it's such a big moment to me for me because my college essay is one of the best things I've ever written before. And I was just kind of proud of myself in that moment and just happy to be part of the community and stuff like that.
Olivia or Jack? Jack, you want to go?
Yeah, I can definitely go. One experience I think I can point to is happened this year. I already talked about it, but we won the New England Championship for soccer, and that was a group of guys that just really went through everything together. Like the preseason running and all that was really we grew so together over that. It was definitely my favorite soccer season of all time. And I know it doesn't look like it, but I used to have all these curls and I buzzed it all for all the guys. I was the captain of the team. I really just wanted to get the boys riled up for for the playoffs. One of my other guys buzzed his head. It was just really just an energetic group. And I remember in the championship game, we were down 1 goal. We ended up rallying back. We scored 3, and we were just defending. And I headed the ball out, and the ref blew the whistle. And I just remember ripping my shirt off and running to my best friends and hugging them and running to the stands and hugging my mom. And it was just like pure ecstasy, and I just really won't forget that ever, I don't think.
Okay, I'll go. I was pretty close with our US history teacher last year. I would go to his class in all my frees, and one day he let me teach my own class, so that was pretty cool.
Thanks, guys. Oh, Simone, did you have a memory you wanted to share? Welcome back.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got logged out. So one of my favorite memories is definitely Don Quixote Day, which is a day where all classes are canceled and we all just get to hang out and be with our friends. And there's some activities set up. So in the morning time, you'll hear the bells chime. I think it's 8 times. So we're all sitting there like counting the chimes, hoping that it's Don Quixote Day because it's like a nice day out. And so yeah, we were all just really excited. Everybody goes on the lawn and we just have a great day.
Yeah, actually, the number of DQ Day memories that everyone has is like countless. That's a once a year thing in the spring, right before seniors leave for their independent studies at the end of the year. Kind of wild that we're about to have our last one in a couple months. So that's all the questions I have for you guys, but I want to turn it over to Mr. Sacco because I believe we have some audience questions.
Yeah, thanks, Will. No, I think part of what we're offering now is, in the chat, if you have questions for the panel and you want to put it there, we'll direct it around to the different panelists. One thing that I was curious to hear from you all, and I heard a glimpse of it throughout the process, but I want to go back to the college process because it's definitely something unique about Worcester. Starting in your junior year in your English classes, if somebody can walk us through that, maybe in a junior seminar, senior seminar, the college fair. If you could speak to that, any single one. I see Olivia nodding her head. Olivia, can you talk to those experiences a little bit and maybe what that intentionality might feel like for you as the recipient of that experience?
Yeah, we did a lot in our junior year. I think the college fair was very special because we got to do a mock interview, which I think has been very helpful throughout my process where I've had a lot of interviews. Our whole English class for the end of the year, we worked on our essays and got a lot of that done. I think there's just a lot of preparation beforehand, so you don't have to do as much like last minute.
And I can actually speak a little more on that. So yeah, the timeline here with the college process is really great because you get your first exposure to the college experience towards the end of your 10th grade year with our college fair, which happens in April. And what I realized, so I work somewhere outside of school on the weekends, and I work with some people who go to public school. And so when I was talking to one of my coworkers about college applications, this was at the start of senior year. She had told me that she had no idea where to even look for college and what she was interested in. And I was like, how do you not know that? So a unique thing here that I didn't even know was unique to Worcester until recently was that we actually start the college process really early. We get started towards the end of our sophomore year so that we get a lot of time to figure out what's the right fit for us and where we want to look, and also enough time so that we can get the proper guidance from our incredible guidance counselors.
Wonderful. One other thing that I was curious about, because I don't think anybody hinted at it yet, and I'm going to choose Jonah. I'm plucking you out. This spring, you're going to do some senior independent studies. And you've probably been thinking about it a bit because every year we watch the seniors graduate and they talk about their experience. You probably are thinking about playing tennis, as I know. But part of that is, what are you going to do for your senior independent study? What do you hope to do in that timing?
Yeah, so every year the seniors leave school a couple months early, kind of no more classes for them, and they go on their own kind of self-designated journey in a way where they each pick out a project for themselves and they take a couple hours each day for like 3 weeks straight. And it's a project that they dictate and they follow through with, and then at the end of it, they kind of create a presentation, a different way to show it off to everybody, and they present it to all of the underclassmen. That's SIS. And so for this year, we're all kind of we just started having the talks about starting to think about what we want to do. I don't totally know yet because my thoughts so far are something video game related because that's something I like a lot. So something related to coding or like making my own game, something like that. But it's hard to pick something that you want to do for that much time at once. But I'm looking forward to it because it sounds like a very nice opportunity to kind of have a time put aside to just do something that you've always wanted to do, something that you've always really been interested in. And I feel like that's not a privilege that a lot of people always get, to just have time set aside specifically for something that they're passionate about.
Any other exotic SIS opportunities on the horizon for you all?
I can share one of my ideas. So I'm still unsure of what I'm planning for my SIS project, but since I'm looking into environmental stuff for college, I think one of my ideas is volunteering at a wolf sanctuary. It's close by to my house, and I went there for camp when I was really young, but I remember being able to kind of just watch them through like the fence, being able to give them like popsicles is what they called them. Um, and overall like being able to care for them, and I think volunteering for something like that would really give me like some hands-on experience and also just give me a lot of information to learn and stuff like that.
Yeah, talk about an experience. Holy cannoli. That sounds wonderful. Wild, in fact. We did get a question in the chat. I want to direct it to Jack because he's sitting right here. When we listened in, we were hearing a little bit about the jobs program. What is that? Obviously, it's very unique to Worcester schools. Some of you have been here for a long time, kindergarten. It's taken on different forms. Pre-K, sorry. But when I think about middle school into upper school and taking on new roles, what has that been like for you?
Yeah. So I remember in middle school we first started it out, and I remember my dad always talking about it, and then I first got to experience. I wasn't really a big fan of it until I kind of felt what Worcester was trying to do, and they were trying to make you realize that of this idea of self-help that we so value so much, being kind of an important like an integral piece of your like community at Worcester, and cleaning up after yourself is a really important um, lesson to learn and for your college and after that, I feel like. And it was really a valuable experience going all throughout middle school and all throughout high school doing it. And then I have to leave one. I have to lead one this year, and yeah, that's a lot of fun just getting to know all the underclassmen. And
You've got Grover Hall, right?
got Grover, and then I got all the way across. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, and thinking a little bit about that, seniors take on a leadership role here. They help direct and guide the underclassmen in different spaces, sweeping, vacuuming, doing the dishes every day. Our claim to fame really is like we make great college roommates. And so part of that is like, no one's going to do it for you, right? So a part of that is leave this place better than the way you find it every single day. It's a really good mantra to have in life. There's a question in the chat about our wonderful, excellent arts department. And I wanted to see if someone could speak to that, especially into upper school. This is an upper school panel. So if anybody can take that one for us, I'm looking at Will Thaler, who's nodding. So I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah, I've had an incredible experience with the arts department. So I've been involved very heavily in theater and music there at high school, and I've gotten to dabble a little bit in visual art. So I can speak to my experience in theater and music, where our theater program, we're a small community here. So the shows that we do fit a smaller cast because that's what we usually have. So it gives everyone an opportunity to really get a crack at a larger part in a show, which you might not get if you're at a public school. You might be stuck in ensemble throughout the whole year, your whole experience. And in tech theater, there's a lot of there's heavy emphasis on the students basically getting to be the creative directors of the show. Our technical directors are really there to oversee safety and be sort of the glue that holds everyone together in tech. And so it's awesome because as a member of tech, as a lighting designer, I've had the experience of basically getting to decide the whole lighting aesthetic of an entire show. I was the lighting designer for the last 2 middle school shows that we did. And I also got to teach younger students how to use our lighting board, how to operate a spotlight. So it's been awesome. And as an actor, I've really gotten to flourish on the stage. Right now, we're doing, for my final show here ever, which is really crazy to think about, we're doing Guys and Dolls for our winter musical, and I am playing Nathan Detroit, which is the lead part in that show. And it's just been great. And for music, so I first got into the guitar in 9th grade. And it's just been awesome. Our music teachers here are just the best. They know exactly what a student needs in order to become a stronger musician, not only as a performer, but also as a team player, because in our ensembles, you have to be a part of the group. You have to look out for your band members. And so that's part of the music experience here, is learning to play in a band or in an orchestra with others. So it's been great. And not only have I gotten opportunities to play a ton in our chapel band, in our rock band, in just smaller groups that have formed for other random performances, like Jonah and I performed with a couple of our friends at our convocation this year. But I've also gotten experience as a band leader. And earlier today, I got to teach the middle school band a jazz standard, which was awesome, especially because I'm interested in going into music education. So long-winded answer made short. It's amazing. There's so much you can do in the arts, and you can be a jack of all trades if you want, or an ace of all trades, depending on how far you want to go.
Yeah, we have our course of study published on our website. It's thorough. I think it's about 45, 50 pages or something. So please take a look at that when you get a chance. There is one last question. I'm just going to try and get it as a number. How many minutes do you spend on average at night on homework? It's something that we're all thinking about in upper school life. And so, thinking about maybe ninth grade compared to your senior year, junior year, DLI, honors, embedded honors, what does that feel like? Jack, you got a number?
Well, right now I feel like it varies because I'm in various, clubs and organizations that I will have to do work in. Like right now, I'm organizing a hunger fundraiser for my basketball game, and people have to bring like food, and I'm trying to organize that. But homework and other stuff involved, I usually try to get 45 good minutes in, and maybe tack into that. But it can vary each night depending on how hard you were in work, and it's really fluent.
Kara?
Um, with the amount of support I get with Bridge and scheduling meetings with my teachers, but also having some freeze. So I think when I get home, um, I have like maybe an hour if like I didn't do all my homework at school or like got help with teachers. I probably have like around an hour to maybe like 30 minutes of homework. It's not bad. It's really easy actually.
And Simone, you want to hit us up with a number?
Yeah, so I actually take a number of DLI courses, and then I also take a ASL course, which is partnered with Wooster. So my timing for homework might be close to 3 hours or so with the ASL work in it. So if I'm really into my work at that night, then I'll be doing up to 3 hours, possibly. Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that ASL class I think is through One Schoolhouse, which is part of your tuition dollars right now anyway, allows you to take elective classes through Global Online Academy and One Schoolhouse. But first and foremost, I know it's really hard to do, but I'd like to give a virtual round of applause to our panelists who were awesome, authentic, wonderful Worcester Generals through and through. You're truly just excellent at articulating what we are at Worcester. And we're really blessed to have you here for just a few more months, as you've all kind of pointed out, which we're going to squeeze every bit of that out as we can. So have a wonderful night, everybody. Thank you all so much for checking in, and we hope to see you at Worcester soon.